Another horror movie about the loss in 2025. The whole city suddenly lost the virus, hundreds of survivors. What is more desperate is that after the natural disaster, all newborns carry the virus. Are humans about to die? Without further ado, the main film begins. South China Sea. Mark starts from the beginning. He lives with his father in the deserted jungle. He has no playmates and doesn't know what the outside world is like. His father is used to being silent. There are only 2 sentences to teach Mark back and forth. Lost everywhere in the forest. The survivors are more cruel than the lost. His father went hunting in the daytime. He only left a pistol to protect himself from Mark. The boy spent his entire childhood listening to songs and reading books. Although this storybook has long been turned over, but Mark does not get tired of reading. There is a fairy who is good at magic in the book, and his arm has been engraved with the M mark since he was a child. Mark thinks he represents magic, also represents his name. This boy was wandering in the woods, accidentally found an iron car. He was worried that someone was inside, so he didn't dare to get close, but Mark is at the age of curiosity. He believes in reading fairy tales. Other humans are not as scary as his father said, so the next morning Mark took the opportunity to hit the water. He sneaked into the car again. He has the courage to sneak in. The daily necessities inside are neatly arranged. There are even children's toys. It seems that someone lives here. Suddenly a shadow appeared in the dark. Mark jumped until the other party approached. She saw that the visitor was also a child. Feel the kindness of the other party. Mark gradually relaxed his vigilance. Take the earphones out to share. At first, the boy also jumped, but when he heard the beautiful music, he also gradually showed a smile. The 2 children of the same age soon became one. Although Mickey looks a bit stupid, but he is very sincere. Before the farewell, he gave his favorite toy to Mark without hesitation. However, on the way back, Mark felt that someone was staring at him. He wanted to hide in the jungle, but was stopped by a woman holding a gun. But when he saw the toy in Mark's arms, the attitude was much more friendly. Gently urged Mark to go home early, even took the initiative to send a bag of fruit. Mark guessed the identity of the woman. The other party is indeed Mickey's mother. Watching the scene of mother and son, Mark was envious. After going back, he hid the toy but forgot to hit the water. Was scolded by his father. Mark did not know. Instead, he took the initiative to hug his father. However, the next moment was pushed away by the other party. In later days, Mark has seen Mickey's mother several times. The gentlewoman make him miss his mother more. When he ate dinner that day, he finally took the courage to ask. However, what awaited was the long silence of his father. Mark dare not ask, but quietly hid behind the window, seeing his father peeking at the video outside. Early the next morning, father went hunting as usual. Suddenly heard a strange howl and the sound of a gun. Realized that something might happen. He asked his son to find a place to hide, then ran to check. With a gun, Mark circled around and hid in the grass. Just saw Mickey's mother hurt and squatting not far away. However, not long after, father walked over with a gun. This scene scared Mark. He never thought that his father was so cruel. Run home. At the first time, lying in bed pretending to sleep. After his father went home, emotions became irritable. He kept repeating them. Mark, obviously it's not the first time I've seen my father like this, pretending that nothing happened in the earphones, but the curiosity in his heart became stronger. It's not easy to wait for his father to fall asleep. He secretly picked up the camera that his father often watched. It turned out that there was a happy time for the family. Mark was not born at that time, but there was already a sister. In the next video, mother's expression became fearful and anxious. She said to Mark, "I love you." Then came the father's howl. Then the picture was completely interrupted. Mark suspected that his father killed his mother. The rebellious flame could not be contained. While his father was asleep, he leaned against the other party. "Pack up your backpack," and ran out of the house. He found his good friend Michi. He was going to take the other party away from the forest. However, Michi wanted to wait for his mother to come back. Mark felt guilty for his good friend. He had to tell the truth. Simple. Michi was not angry. Instead, he gave a big hug. This is the first time Mark has experienced the feeling of being hugged. The 2 children continued to move forward. Mark suddenly stopped. He has lived with his father for many years. He has long had the ability to sense danger hiding in the jungle. With Michi, look at the sudden loss. The 2 boys rushed all the way, saw a car on the road. The 2 people rushed in without hesitation. However, not long after, a large group of dead suddenly surrounded. It seems that the car will come first. In the next second, just when the 2 were panicking, suddenly there was a gunshot outside. The dead fell one by one. The car door was pushed open. Mark's father appeared. It turned out that he woke up in the morning and found his son missing. Escaped the handcuffs, and the first time, relying on years of hunting experience, soon found traces of Mark's escape. Fortunately, he was fast enough. This is the moment of crisis. The old father hugged Mark, confirmed that the son was not injured. A sigh of relief in his heart at this time. After the loss was heard again from afar, the father no longer hesitated to pull his son away quickly. Mark wanted to run away with Michi. Unfortunately, he was ignored. He got rid of his father for the first time in his life. He let go of his anger. The old father looked at his son in disbelief, want to explain, but the corpse was close. He hid his son behind the tree, then he rushed out with a gun. Mark stood up with courage far away. He saw his father bravely kill the corpse step by step close to Michi's car. Mark's heart was filled with hope. Maybe his father is not as evil as he thinks. However, at the next moment a corpse came over, shaking. He couldn't escape from too close, can only tremble with a sniper. The father heard the sound of the gun and was worried that his son would be in trouble, turned around and rushed to the mountain, but was accidentally knocked down by a corpse. It was not easy to kill him. He kept running to his son, confirm that the other party is safe. The old father just let go, but Mark saw the wound on his father's hand. It turned out that when he just got rid of the corpse, he was accidentally bitten by the other party. His father knew that he could no longer accompany his son to go on. He took a deep breath, slowly retreated to a place far enough. Put yourself next to a dead tree, feel the same as in the body. He couldn't wait to explain. Michi's mother was bitten by the corpse that day because he was worried that he would mutate, so he shot to solve it. Mark took a picture of his mother. Did he die like this? The father shook his head. He said that Mark's mother is the legendary fairy. Even if she was bitten, she would not mutate. Not long after the corpse broke out, he was taken away by a group of soldiers. Mark realized that he had wronged his father. The other party just buried all his love in his heart. But it's too late for him to regret now. The virus in his father's body began to break out. He used up his last bit of reason. Angry son hurriedly left. At the next moment, his eyes began to become wrinkled. When Mark found his friend Michi in the car, the sound of gunshots suddenly came from the mountains. He knew that he would never have a father again, but Mark's heart was so firm. He must find his mother. Two boys less than 10 years old just wander through the deserted jungle, make trouble all the way, unknowingly arrived at the edge of the human city. This day they followed the iron ghost. I saw an uncle sunbathing leisurely. Two children walked over to get something to eat. The uncle heard that Mark was going to find his mother in the valley where the fairy was. He sighed sadly. He wanted to escort the two children. It's a pity that he can't leave because his children are all mutated. The uncle couldn't bear to kill them. He could only imprison them in the cage. Look at the healthy Mark. His eyes are full of joy. All the children who have had an accident over the years are virus carriers. Maybe Mark and the two can find a way to cure the virus. After saying goodbye to the uncle, Mark and Michi continued to walk along the railway. Soon they saw an abandoned train. The first time they saw this huge thing, both children were very excited. After getting the train head, walked towards the back of the carriage. I don't want you to get lost in the mud. The two turned around and ran away, but met two men with guns. Not long after, they were taken to an abandoned factory. The man in the leading eye saw two healthy children, also surprised. Michi's expression is silly, but the eyes are extremely clear. He thinks this kid is the angel of the mortal world. Planned to leave Michi as everyone's spiritual faith, and for Mark, the man in the eye ordered him to be executed because one's spiritual faith is enough. However, a subordinate saw a photo of Mark's mother, can't help but move the side shadow. The leader here is using a radio call more people to come to him because he found a healthy child, and this kind subordinate but took the opportunity to secretly let go of Mark because in his eyes one more child to live. Then there is one more hope in the world. Mark is very loyal, didn't run away alone, but while all the robbers were asleep, sneak into Michi's room, touched the black and escaped from the thief's nest. Early in the morning on the second day, the man in the eye found that his spiritual faith was gone. He shot his subordinate without hesitation, and Mark here looking for supplies in a building. He hurriedly put on his own clean clothes, ready to meet Michi at the door, but found that the man in the eye had caught up a group of people surrounded Michi, ready to continue to catch the missing Mark. However, at this time a drone suddenly appeared, then the gunshot. The leader and a group of young men died. Soon Mark hurriedly ran downstairs, saw a few soldiers walking out of the body. He was about to show up. Michi shook his head slightly and told him not to come. It was a soldier walked towards Mark's hiding place. At a critical moment, Michi picked up a pistol on the ground, deliberately attracting the attention of the soldiers, but his death also made the soldiers give up the idea of searching. Mark kneels helplessly on the ground. After losing his father, he lost his only friend. Mark remembered his father's warning: human survivors are really worse than dead. There is no so-called gallbladder in the world. There is no kinder and stronger fairy. The boy's angry tone carries the fairy tale of dreams. Now the only thing that supports him to go on is the mother who has been missing for many years. Mark came to a deserted city. The high concrete has long been devastated. The streets are even more desolate. The terrible howl of the scream. Mark has long overcome the fear in his heart. He avoided losing the army again and again, finally came to the location where his mother took the photo. The boy walked into the building without hesitation, searching one room after another, finally saw a woman's back in front of the glass window under the sun. She is very similar to the mother in the photo. Mark walked forward, involuntarily touched the woman's hand and hugged her slowly. The woman didn't look back but grabbed Mark's hand and bit him hard. Mark just found that the woman in front of him had already lost her mind. He was terrified and retreated, closed the glass door, and stopped the other party outside at the next moment. The boy couldn't help but weep. How much did he hope that was his mother? Now the only hope is gone. Mark doesn't know how to go on in the future at this time. A loudspeaker came from the building, though around a virtual image is speaking cheerfully. He said that it was a large number of refugees who invaded that led to the fall of this camp. The loud noise attracts a large number of dead bodies to gather here, but Mark doesn't care at all because he has already lost his place of abode. Put on the headphones, Mark began to pray in his heart. However, he didn't notice a large number of bullets flew by nearby. Dead bodies were scattered. When Mark turned his head, his body was full of red dots. It turned out to be the official soldiers who were surrounding the dead bodies here. The leader found Mark bitten, ready to shoot, but Mark didn't intend to resist because he saw a woman standing in front of him. Now just think of a warm hug at this time. The female soldier accidentally saw the M mark on Mark's hand, so immediately took off the mask. His eyes were wet with tears. He shouted that the child had a mark, walked out of the room with Mark. Although the movie did not explain the origin of the mark, but it's not difficult to guess that it has something to do with Mark's immune system, and his mother is likely to serve in the army. This movie didn't give a positive image of the dead from start to finish. The most described is the journey of the little boy's heart. It's very depressing. Friends who have a delicate relationship are not recommended to watch the original film. Okay, that's it for today. See you next time.